excited for you guys to be joining us. If you didn't already watch our video from last week with Erin, make sure you go back and watch that one first, because this one isn't going to make a whole lot of sense to you if you didn't watch that one already. As always, I am your savvy blonde, Caitlin.
And I'm Ash.
And this is our guest, Erin, for her round 2 awesome show about businesses and all of the amazing things that you need to know to start them. So, Ash, I think we have some questions for Erin, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're just joining us and this is the first episode that you've seen or you missed last week's, just to kind of give you a little bit of a brief recap, Erin is kind of like a spiritual CEO business coach. And so this is what she does. And so she's here to talk to us about starting our side hustle. So last week we learned all about, when to transition your side hustle to your main hustle, what branding looks like, how to brand yourself. So this week we're going to be talking all about marketing, which is like the big, scary, but also really exciting M word that all entrepreneurs kind of pee their pants about a little bit, if that's not like their strong point. And so we're going to be touching on a lot of different things today, everything from innovative marketing techniques to what does marketing even mean anyways, and how do I avoid having to hit up my family and friends for money all the time. So we're going to be talking about those things. So to start off with, let's just go back to basics. What is marketing? What does marketing even mean?
I think the simplest way to put marketing, or the way I like to put it, is relationship building, right? It's how you put yourself out there, how you say sell from your soul, right? It's how you make money. It's how you get yourself out there. It's how you put your product, your business, and your brand in front of people. And ultimately, how well your marketing is how well you're building relationships, right? And I think selling is an authentic thing. Marketing is an authentic thing, right? That's why I always say selling from your soul, right? What feels good to you in terms of putting yourself out there? And I love what you mentioned. We're gonna get into this, I think, a little bit more, but not selling to your friends and family, not feeling like you need to jump down people's throats and be like, hey, we're not door-to-door salesmen, no. So
unless you're a door-to-door salesman, and then more power to you.
Then more power to you. That was sorry. You know what? I have a funny story about that.
Okay.
I had a lady who sold cleaner and came to my house probably 4 weeks ago. And I was like, I didn't know that was still a thing. I gave her 45 minutes of my time because she was good. And I have no problem telling people, she told me her life story about her kids, why she was doing it. She was funding her entrepreneurs, whatever. She was good. And I was like, all right, I'll listen, tell me. Right. But ironically, I had just got my doTERRA cleaner in the mail, and the box was sitting right there. And I was like, I'm sorry, my doTERRA stuff's right there. Here's to you. But she was good. It was really good. So.
And she showed up in an authentic way and was real, and so there you go.
Friendly and real, and so.
All right, awesome. So what does marketing mean? So showing up in an authentic way. What does that kind of look like practically? Especially if you're an introvert. I think for some of us, are you guys extroverts?
I'm an introverted extrovert. I'm an ambivert.
Okay, what about you?
I think I'm a little bit of both.
I'm a total extrovert. I get anxiety if I'm alone. I hate being
I think as
people.
I get older, I like to be alone sometimes when it's I can be in tune with myself or working or taking care of myself. But in general, I like to be around people, yes.
See, my whole thing is I like to be around people, but I don't know, I'm one of those people where I read everybody's energy in the room, and it attacks me, and I latch on to all of the negative energy. So if I'm around people for way too long, I get so overwhelmed, and that's when my crippling anxiety will kick in. And I just have to sleep for days and days on end until I'm just okay again. Yeah. So I am becoming more aware of when that's starting to happen and pulling myself back. So I feel that's why I'm becoming an ambivert. But I love being around people, but I also love just finding all the problem people and being let me help you. I will.
That's draining your energy.
So boundaries. That's going to be our next video, all about boundaries. Because I know that's something I have to work on. It's hard. When you're an empath and you're an empath who loves to serve and to help and to be there, it's really difficult. And it can be really draining. But so if you're not a people person, right, I think it's still possible to own your own business if you're not a people person. But how do you then market if you're if the idea of trying to build relationships with people just scares the crap out of you?
Some of the most successful people that I follow and know are really introverted.
Yeah.
Actually, really they are. They're creative and connected to themselves, and I think part of that is not feeling a need to they have boundaries.
Yeah.
So maybe not feeling a need to show up in a certain way, but just allowing them to show up in whatever way they feel called to show up in. Because like your brand is who you are, right? And the way you market yourself is how you essentially like build awareness around, you know, who you are, what you're selling, what you bring to the table. And so because I'm not super introverted, I guess it's hard for me. And I think we were talking about this before, as like, as I'm working with different clients, really building the awareness of like meeting people where they're at, and learning so much about people and how different people do build their brands and market their businesses. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have anything else on that, or?
No, I think like you said it absolutely like how I would, you know, like you just, I don't know, like everybody's at like a different point, and like for me, like with what you do, I feel like it would just be so hard finding like that different point and like meeting them there and being like, okay, like you're in the middle and like this is the end and this is the beginning, or like you're right here and or you're like totally off to the side, like
Well, and it's also too like knowing where people are at when they get started, because especially in network marketing, when people get started marketing themselves and they don't have like a huge network yet, but yet they expect results like immediately, or they're wondering, like they're looking at other people and why do they have so much success. I always try to give them the perspective, no matter what their business is, it doesn't matter if it's network marketing, you know, you have to build that network, you have to spend the time to build that foundation, you have to, you know, we have to get you putting yourself out there essentially in whatever way that works for you, whatever way is authentic to you. But like if you start with this little tiny network, your results, you know, are gonna progressively take a little bit longer for you to get where you need to go, versus you start with a huge network. Or like for me, like when I started network marketing, I had this foundational network because I had a brick and mortar business in the beauty industry, so a lot of those customers carried over for me. When I started my brick and mortar business, I had no network. I did not know what I was doing. I did not know how to build my website. I just decided I was going to do it, and I figured it all out. But I had no network, and so I knew what it took to build that network and to market myself from like jack squat. That's a terrible analogy, but that was what it was, right? Like to build awareness around something that was brand new.
Yeah. Well, and I think you said something that like I really want to go back to, because you talked about how like we all instantly want something like right now. So there's like this really big stigma around millennials, and like this is exactly why this is not like a sole millennial thing with instant gratification. Like we instantly want to feel gratified. We want to be making money instantly. We don't understand like why when we're starting a business it's not instantly successful, and we don't have these millions and millions of followers on Instagram, and we don't have all of these people that are like, oh my gosh, I want to buy this. Like, and I would love for you to dive a little bit deeper into like how you can kind of change like your thinking, or like make yourself feel a little bit more centered to like get over that feeling of like wanting that instant gratification.
The biggest thing for me, and something I even had to teach myself, was like to tune out all the noise, to stop looking everywhere and get tunnel vision, right? And I mean tunnel vision in the sense that like I don't believe in end games, and I don't believe there's ever a you've arrived, there's a destination. Like it's always a journey, right? But like what do you envision for yourself in the next year or 6 months or whatever it is, however you break down your goals, is like, okay, so if it doesn't work for you in the first month, if you step back now, like, is that going to get you that much closer to where you want to go? Right? You have to gain the perspective of like, what do I want long term? If I back away from this because it doesn't work instantly, I'm just going to fall back into whatever old trap that I had. Or if I look at the bigger picture, and I always say like reverse engineer, right? So if the bigger picture is in 6 months you want to be here, first of all, I hate to use the term realistic because I don't believe in realistic. I think that you can manifest into your life whatever you know results that you want, but you also have to be able to believe in them. You have to believe that they're possible.
You have to be able to. They have to be believable for you,
right?
Because if you aren't spiritually and mentally and emotionally invested in it, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So you could say in 6 months I want to be a $5 million company.
Is it possible?
Is it
yeah,
possible?
but is it possible
Sure.
for you?
Right, exactly.
And we
you
talked about
believe
that
that
during
it's
our first episode a lot, and setting like attainable goals.
Right.
Yes.
And like goals that you can back.
Right.
Because same thing that you said is like, is it possible for in a year for me to be a 7-figure earner when I just started my business? Yeah, it's possible. There's people who have done it, but do you genuinely believe? If you do, great, like let's do it.
Yeah.
But if you don't genuinely believe that, then what is your end goal for 6 months or for a
Right.
year out. Let's reverse engineer it so that you have like stepping stone goals. So then, and I always tell people like it's so powerful to anchor in every step of the way, every like milestone, no matter how little or big, to celebrate yourself. Because the more you celebrate yourself, the more you raise your vibe, and the more you raise your vibe, the more you're like, okay, I want to get that momentum going. I like how this feels.
Yeah.
And surround yourself with people that are doing similar things. If you are going at it alone, good luck.
Yeah.
I love you, but
No,
good luck.
it's
Like
true.
it's so hard.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of going back to millennials and our different mindset as far as, you know, how we approach business and kind of falling into that trap of comparing ourselves to other people. On the flip side, like, let's celebrate something positive about millennials in that we are coming up with all these different ways to market ourselves that either weren't available or weren't really even thought of when our parents, you know, maybe were starting businesses back in the 80s and 90s. Like, what kind of new and innovative marketing tools have you really seen work well for millennials?
I love this question because it's really funny. Since I've quit my corporate job 5 years ago and I've been in business for myself like about 4 years, I've watched like trends come and go too.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I don't know what I would do if we didn't have the internet, because like that's all I know how to market myself is like hop on a live video, talk to people, get on Instagram stories, make videos, whatever. But I watched, like, I don't know if you guys, you probably know, maybe you do, when Periscope first came out, and that was like a big
Yeah.
thing, right? And then that was like, and then live videos came out, right? And like,
Yeah.
so like the trends of like things coming up and going, but like it's all been trending towards videos. This whole concept of like video marketing is so huge because people can get to see you, can see your personality, they can see what you look like, they can see how you move with your hands, they can feel your body language, and so you can feel the energy in videos and relate to people more than you can in just, you know, posted content, right? Because we were talking in last week's video, if you didn't catch it, about having a voice in like what you post, right? And in your content that you post, but like videos, I mean, videos allow you to like really get to know a person over time.
Absolutely.
And I think that is like, even especially for me, like that's one of the ways that I really started to build my brand, was just like regularly, almost kind of having a schedule. Like, do you guys post these videos the same?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, whenever YouTube finishes crunching
Uploading.
Yeah, YouTube needs
I'm
to,
on
yeah,
YouTube. You gotta
really.
you gotta get
It
with
takes
it.
about
here.
2 hours to upload these dang videos.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyways, they usually post late at night on Wednesdays. So.
Midnight.
Yeah, right, exactly. 12:01. Yeah. So, okay. So with the videos then, I know for me, I love doing live videos. That's like always been something I've enjoyed doing since it was available on Facebook, Instagram, you name it. But I know there are a lot of people who really feel that they don't know how to show up authentically in a live video, and that they feel really intimidated and all of that. But it's something they want to do. They can see the value in video marketing, but they don't really know how not to sit there and kind of and they get really nervous. Like, what would you say? How do you kind of overcome that?
I'm with you. I will tell a funny story and then I'll give you some tips. But my first live, I used to do a ton of pre-recorded videos because I was in network marketing before live became a thing, like right before, a few months before. So I would do pre-recorded videos and post those, and I mean that was great, but live videos just vastly different. But first live video, I hit it. I put it on private. I had like the sweaty armpits, like nervous, all the things. And I recorded the video and then I took it off private and posted it public. So my first live video was not really live per se. So that works.
Cheater.
You can,
No, yeah,
could
that's
always
true.
change your Facebook settings.
Right.
No. You know, a lot of people are nervous to show up. It's almost like they're partly naked, right? Like now, because now people can see you, they can ask you questions, they can interact. I always try to give people the perspective that it's like you are still literally behind a computer screen. Like nobody, you know, nothing's
can
gonna
reach through
happen.
and punch you.
No one's gonna judge, and you don't have to know it when you first do it. Like, how have you learned to do anything?
Right.
I did a huge email marketing sequence on this. Is like, people think they have to know things and they can't do them until they know them or know how to do them, but it's like, how do you learn how to do them unless you just rip the band-aid off and do them? So even if you, and this is a tip that I give a lot of, have a very specific topic that you're going to go live about, and I believe in like authentically just talking off the cuff, right? But like, if you have to bullet point a few things on paper to kind of give yourself like an outline, okay, that's perfect. Exactly. I still do that. If I have
Yeah.
a very specific topic, I'll bullet
Totally.
point things. It'll give you talking points, right? And put something in your hands. I still do that sometimes because
Yeah.
I would talk like this and I'd be hitting them. So if you're nervous, like have something, you know, have something in your hands. And trying to think of any other tips that when I was first, because I was nervous in the beginning. Talk to them, like talk to people how you would talk in real life.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to look at the comments. I know a little tip is you can cover the amount of people that are on live if that makes you nervous, right? Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you can think of?
I know one of the things that really would get in my head when I first started doing live videos, I used to do live videos really regularly on my personal page, and I've gotten really busy with school lately, so I haven't done a lot of lives on my personal page, but I'm going to, resurrect that when I'm finished in a couple months. But when I first started doing those live videos, it would really mess with my head when I would see the viewer count drop. Like, because you first get on and you put like a catchy special announcement or something in the subject line to kind of try and draw people in and get them to watch. And maybe you'd start off with like 10 and then 15 and then you'd start really trying to share something, and then all of a sudden it was like 13, 11, 4,
If it drops
1,
10.
and you're like, ah, and you're trying not to like let it mess with you, but in your head you're like, no one cares, no one wants to show up. But then the thing that I have to remember is when I'm watching live videos, I don't always leave the video because I don't want to watch it. Like maybe I was driving and someone honked at me like, hey, a-hole, get off your phone, or like or my kids were like, Mom, like there's so many reasons to like jump off a live video. So like you can't take it personally, and I think that was the biggest hurdle I had to overcome, was that no matter what your view count is, no matter what comments you're getting, I haven't always had positive feedback on videos and content that I've posted, and you just have to develop a thick skin and realize that it's not always about you. It's more than likely about their relationship with themselves, and we could do a whole nother video on that, but is learning not to take that personally. And so I think especially if you're trying to develop a business where you're selling something or you're marketing your services or marketing yourself personally, learning that while you want to show up in an authentic way, having a boundary with your emotions, not to take people's feedback to heart in that way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it's your job to show up and do what you feel called to do. It's your job to show up and deliver the content. It's not your job to determine how the results are going to come to you, at all. And that's like a big thing I had to learn, was like show up and do what you feel called to do, right? Like show up and deliver the content, show up and make the impact that you want to make, and then surrender to the results. Because if you're doing what you're aligned with and what you are called to do and supposed to be doing in your life or in your business, the results will come to you. You may not know exactly the how. It may not be through 25, 30, whatever, Facebook Live viewers, but you're going to reach who you're meant to reach, right? And you have to consistently show up. I see that. People get, because they want instant gratification, right? Because they see the success of other people in the online space, they think they're instantly supposed to have that success. So if it doesn't come in the first live video, they're like, see, I'm not good at live videos.
This wasn't for me.
Oh, I can't do this, right? And it's like, no. Oh my gosh, I wish I have to find the post and maybe we'll share it in that. But there's an entrepreneur that I follow. She's like a multiple 7-figure, and I think she's like 32. She's just very, very authentic with her content, and she called people out the other day and she said, stop saying that it doesn't work. Stop saying that Facebook algorithms has messed with your, business and all this stuff, and just continue to show up and do the work that you're meant to do consistently until the results come to you, because they will come to you, right? And knowing that it's yours if you believe that it's yours, and continue on the path kind of thing, right?
No, absolutely. And I think that's been kind of a hurdle for me with Instagram, is feeling constantly defeated. Well, I could try, but no matter what I do, Instagram's going to change their algorithm, or Facebook's going to change their algorithm. But the reality is, if I step back, there are brands that I follow incredibly loyally, and they don't always show up on my feed. I go hunt them down. Be the brand that people hunt down. Be that person who shows up so authentically that if you're not showing up in their feed, they're like, oh my God, where'd she go? And they go find you. So I totally agree with that. I mean, it's hard to hear because it's an easy out for us to say, oh, well, it's out of my hands. I don't have any control. you know, all of that, you know, it's easy to say that, and that kind of removes some of the responsibility to show up. But I think if you're there and you're authentic, people will hunt you down, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if I go for a while without seeing Caitlin's post, I'm like, where did this girl go? Because she posts all the freaking time. And then sure enough, like the Instagram algorithm changed and she's not showing up on my feed. It's like I go find her and I catch up on what's going on.
Yeah.
So
I think it's like really interesting too, like, I don't know, like I'll compare it like with my personal Instagram and then like one of my business Instagrams. So like for my makeup account, I will go like months without posting because I'm just horrible. I have like 7 different Instagram accounts that I run.
that's true.
And that is the one that I care about the least because I post things about that on my personal one. So that one gets the slack. Yeah. And I'll post on that. Like I posted on that like last week, just like a random post of like one of the things that I had done over the weekend. And it got like 20 likes like instantly. And I was like, okay, good to know. So, like, stuff like that, like, people, they like seeing my makeup. I know I have, like, a solid amount of followers on there for never posting because normally they just, like, drop off. They're like, oh, this is a ghost follower, goodbye.
Right.
Versus, like, on my personal one, like, I know during the first video of the year I talked about how, like, you shouldn't delete a video or a picture if it doesn't get, like, over a certain amount of likes within a certain amount of time. And let me tell you, if a picture has not been getting like over 40 likes within the first hour, I have been deleting it. It has been so bad because I'm just like so frustrated with it. And I'm like, this looks so bad to have on my feed. So I posted this picture last week that got like 350 likes.
What? Girl,
Yeah.
you went a little viral.
I know.
What picture was it?
It was me in a bodysuit with jeans on in front of a brick wall at like 4 a.m.
That one?
Yeah, that was it. It got like 350 likes. Why? I don't know. I posted this beautiful picture that Ashley took of me today, and it has like 60. And I was like,
People want your real
hate
life.
everything.
Your 4 a.m. real life.
Yeah,
they want to
it's
know.
true.
They're nosy. People are
No, it's so true.
They're nosy.
But yeah, so I want to go back to the live video thing though, because
Yeah.
they're over here talking about they have these awesome stories that they give, you know, they're creating this awesome brand. My brand is so like, I'm a mess. Like, I think that's what my brand is. Like, I go live and like all the worst possible things happen. Like, I remember I went live this one time, and it was actually the last time I went live, like last year, where I had to drink my orange juice out of a wine glass because I couldn't find any cups. And it's like 10 in the morning and I like have bedhead, it's all awful. And then I'm like doing my makeup, you know, because that's my thing. But because before I used makeup to de-stress myself, I would just be like, every morning I'm going to go live and do my makeup. So I was doing my makeup and then I'm like, oh, okay guys, I'm going to put on my false eyelashes. Oh God, where'd they go? And I searched for 5 minutes on this live video looking for my false eyelashes until I'm finally like, okay, you know what, I'm done. Turns out they're stuck to the bottom of my phone. Like, the second I turn my phone off, I lift it up, they're on the bottom of my phone. And so I go back on live, and I'm like, okay, guys, it's okay. Like, I'm putting them on, and then I can't find the other one. So now I'm on live with one eyelash on. I can't find the other one. And I'm just like, you know what? I quit. This is how my day is going. It's fine. As the video is ending, I knock the wine glass off of the table and spill orange juice everywhere.
I probably had your most viewers ever.
Right, exactly.
You know, I
What
really
is she
did.
doing?
And I got a lot of messages afterwards being like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Are you having a bad day? Like, I remember I had somebody message me and be like, do you need me to bring you, like, coffee? Like, is this, like, a you haven't gotten sleep thing? Like, what have you been
Mental
doing?
breakdown live.
And I just, like, it's like,
Okay.
it's fine, I'm okay. And I go into work, and, you know, I broke a heel that day on my shoe. I was just like, the world is, like,
it's one of
not
those
my
days.
oyster. The world was not my oyster that day.
Not
So,
your oyster.
yeah, that was
Lordy.
my last experience with going live.
Well,
Woo.
now that you're all scared to go live after listening to Caitlin's experience,
It's not that bad.
it's really not. It's not too bad. And see, she's still here. She's still doing videos.
I know.
All right. So our last question, something we want to spend a little bit more time on, and I know Erin has a lot to say on this, so I'm really excited to hear what she's going to say. Is who do I market to, and how do I avoid having to sell to family and friends? Because I know, especially when you're selling product and services too, I think it's really kind of a scary and stressful thing. And when you first join a lot of like network marketing companies, they're constantly asking you, who's in your network? Who's in your network? And our first thought is always mom, dad, Aunt Terry, Uncle Fred. You know, like I have an Uncle Fred. He's awesome. You know, like all my cousins, my friend Erin, my friend Caitlin, my friend this. Like, that's who we think of in our network, and so that's who we start marketing to. So how do we, like, from the get-go, how do we avoid that? Because it's an awkward situation if they don't want to buy and they feel obligated, or whatever.
Well, if you know that that's how a company operates, steer clear, because that is like old school network marketing, right? And that was, if you go back to the previous video too, I mentioned, like, look at the leaders in the company, like, how are they representing the brand or their brand, right? Like, how are they marketing themselves? If you see them or hear from people or are watching that they are constantly having meetings where they're inviting all their friends and family, like, run the other way. Or do it differently and pave a new way, whatever you want. But yeah, it is, your friends and family aren't going to build your business. Like, I hate to burst your bubble, but it's a fact. And I learned that early on. Actually, I don't think I ever thought my friends and family were going to build my business. I don't think I ever wanted them to. Like, I never wanted that awkward of, like, you have to buy from me, and then when you see me, you feel obligated that I'm going to come to you and say buy from me again. So I think you have to be open to the idea that you are going to have to work outside of your friends and outside of your family to build a network of other people. And, people get intimidated by that, but for me, that came like, cool, this is an opportunity to find people that genuinely need this product or service in their life, that genuinely want this, people that are my ideal client. And I think it's really figuring out, like, what is your message, right? We talked about your brand, we talked about marketing, like, what is your message and who are you actually trying to reach? So I'll just use, makeup as an example, because that's the beauty industry that I was in before. It's like, for me, I am an on-the-go, busy mom of 3, entrepreneur wife. Like, I have so much going on, right? I want a makeup routine that is simple and easy. I'm also really into natural products, right? And so I'm my ideal client. And generally, if you are using a product or service like that, health, wellness, whatever you're in,
Right.
you are your ideal client. Maybe who you were 6 months ago, depending on, is it a health and wellness product? And
Right.
have you experienced a transformation? Okay, like, define your ideal client, right? I always say now, as a life and business coach, like, my ideal client is ambitious women who are already in business for themselves and who are really looking to level up into the next level version of themselves, to really feel empowered to own their truth and step into their real power and purpose. And, like, I know who my ideal client is. Like, I could tell you her age, I could tell you, you know what I mean? Like, I have on paper figured out who she is. And so when I'm doing videos and sharing content, I'm speaking directly to her pain points, to, like, where I used to be, which was in her shoes, to the transformation that I've experienced or my clients have experienced. And you want to be speaking directly to them. And the beauty of the internet is that you can reach anybody and everybody. So you don't have to sell to your, family and friends. And it might be a little different if you're in network marketing and you have a product. I almost think it's a little quote unquote easier, because you can figure out, like, who uses that product. Like,
Right.
so many women use makeup, right? Cool. Teach them how to use it. Talk about it. Talk about how easy it is, right? Talk about how it's natural, whatever it is. Like, that is going to speak to women that want to hear that, right? And
Absolutely.
the more you build your brand, the more you build trust with your clients that you do start to establish, the more you're going to get referrals, the more people are going to start to see your content and see your videos and say, like what you said, I need more of her in my life. I'm going to go find out what she's doing now, because you don't want to be the person that people are, like, steering clear of. I don't want to go to family events because she's going to sell me some pill or something.
Yeah, you don't want to be the hey girl, the girl that pops up in your DMs and is like, hey girl, I haven't talked to you since high school and I bullied you, but
Yes. Oh
I
my
now
gosh.
sell this.
I want to empower you now.
Yeah,
I want to empower you. I'm making up for all those times.
Through this
Oh
coffee
my gosh.
that costs $500 for no reason. Like,
Right. Oh my goodness. It's tough. And I think a big reason, honestly, why a lot of people who are selling a product with network marketing or just on their own start with family and friends is because it feels safe.
Yeah.
Because, you feel like, oh, they love me, they'll buy something just to be supportive. And because they're wanting that instant gratification, they're wanting success to come quickly, they think if I hit up my family and friends, they're going to support me because they love me. But that's not necessarily the type of customer you want. You don't want someone who's like, oh, I like you, so I'll buy something from you. Like, you want somebody
build
who,
a sustainable.
right, exactly. They're going to keep coming back for more, not just the one time, oh, I bought that lipstick from you once just to be nice and then never again, And it's funny, I went to this was like ages ago, and I was at a movie, and I was saving seats for like 6 friends, and I'm like usually the first person to show up to these types of things, and so I was saving seats for 6 people, which meant I had like various articles of I was still clothed, but I still had like stuff like strewn over seats, right? And I was sitting on one end, and so this lady comes and sits down next to me, and I'm like waiting for my friends to get there, and like, come on, like people are giving me dirty looks. And she goes, oh my gosh, you have the most beautiful skin. And I was like having a rough day, so I literally was like, thank you. Oh my gosh. And like it meant so much to me. And she's like, can I ask what you use? And I've had that question before, like legitimately people have asked me like, what's your skincare regimen? So I was like, oh, I use this, and then I wash my face with this and do this. And she's like, have you ever heard about this company? And I was like, gosh, she got me. And you never,
she was good.
right? You never want your clients or your customers to feel like, damn it, she got me. Like, you don't want that. You don't want to feel sneaky. You don't want to feel like you've weaseled your way in. Like, again, I think it all comes back to being authentic. Had she said, you know, I sell makeup for a living, I just want to tell you, you have really beautiful skin, and, you know, I see that you obviously love makeup, you know, if you ever interested, I mean, that's kind of a brazen way to do it, but at least you're not being sneaky about it, you know?
Or you can even say that and just say, hey, are you on Facebook? Because
Right.
like, I would do that with people. It's like, hey, let's just follow each other on Facebook.
Oh,
like,
totally.
And never, you know, get in their inbox and say, so by the way, I saw you at the movie.
Right,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
You can keep in contact with people.
Yeah.
It's okay to build relationships. Like, building relationships is huge, but yes, it's all about how do you do that. And I can't imagine that that felt authentic to her.
No.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
that's the thing, is you have to ask yourself, like, does this actually feel good to me, or do I
Right.
feel funky doing this?
Right.
If you feel funky doing it, then it's kind of a, you
Yeah,
know,
it's a good sign.
It's a little bit of a red flag that maybe that's not even you. Like, maybe that didn't even feel good to her, you know?
Right, yeah.
But
I think Facebook groups are a fantastic way to do that. And, you know, free Facebook groups where you're offering content. I know that's something Erin has done really, really well in her businesses. Is she always has a free Facebook group. You don't have to pay to be in it. You know, if you want to work with her, obviously you pay her, you work with her, you get all these extra things. But there's free content for days in her Facebook group, and that's where she shows up and she's authentic and she's, you know, helping women and encouraging them and things. And so I think a lot of times too, when you're charging, and I was having a conversation with a business owner about this today, when you're charging what you're worth, sometimes you have to bring people in and let them see who you are in order for them to understand the full value of what they're getting. And so, for example, if you are a photographer and you charge $1,200 for a package, most people are going to be like, that's really outside of my budget. I was hoping to spend like $50 because my cousin said she could also take these pictures. No. But if you have a Facebook group or some online community where you're connecting with people, you have other people and they're sharing their stories about working with you and kind of cheering you on that way, and they really get a chance to see you show up in an authentic way, that's demonstrating to them what all they're getting when they pay that $1,200. They're getting this photographer who's there to empower them, who's there to take these incredible photos that are going to last for years and impress friends and family and do, you know, so they understand what the value is. So I think, you know, if you're out there and you're charging what you feel that you're worth and other people are kind of like, oh, that seems a little expensive, start a Facebook group, start demonstrating your value for them. And I think that's a great way to attract clients too.
And I think there's also like a second part to that. Like going back to like the business side of things is because I think a lot of people also undervalue the amount of work that they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like that meme or whatever you see everywhere. It's like, know your worth and then add tax. Like, it's so important. And not only is it important for your business, because you're not going to have a functional business charging nickels and dimes for something you should be charging hundreds of dollars for, but it doesn't do good things for your soul. I feel like, yeah.
No, it doesn't do good things for your soul. It's all, that's the mindset work that I do with a lot of clients, because that's the thing, is they don't feel the need to charge their worth. They don't really even understand what that means. And you're also not going to attract your ideal client when you are not charging your worth. And then you're working with people that you don't truly, genuinely vibe with, connect with, or want to be necessarily working with, and you know what? That's energetically draining, and you're gonna forget why you started your business because you're not working at your highest level, right? Because you're continually having to. It's like trading time for money. You don't have to trade time for money. Like, charge what you are worth, and then you'll be able to work at your highest level, and in turn, they're going to see that. They're going to feel that energy, and that's, I mean, referrals are going to come for that. I think a lot of people think they need to charge less in the beginning until they're worth this. But it's so not true. If you're showing up again as if, then you can charge whatever the heck you want to charge because you believe you're worth it, then other people believe you're worth it, whatever, you know.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, you know, another thing, you know, talking about charging what you're worth is like, do your research, you know, and we kind of touched on that just a little bit, but if you're unsure of what your value is, go look at other people who are doing the same thing that you do and doing it well. Look at what they're charging. Look at what value they're offering. And not to, you know, get in there and try to compete with them necessarily and say, I need to be better than them, or I need to, you know, whatever, but just to kind of get an idea. If you're new to the world of coaching, or you're new to the world of, you know, especially service-related industries, if you're new to that, go and do research on other people that you admire in that industry and what they're charging. Obviously, if you have specialized education, certifications, training, then you charge even more because you're bringing that much more education and value to what you're doing. But don't get into the business, like Caitlin said, just to undercut everybody, because at the end of the day, the only person you're really undercutting is yourself.
And can we say, when you charge your worth and when you have an abundant view of money and receiving money and then giving service and that like energetic exchange, good people do good things with money, so then you can give back, you can do those things, right? Because you have the ability to then say, awesome, I'm getting paid my worth, so I'm receiving all this compensation, cool, now I can do the good things that I wanted to do. I can do this charity event, I can give back to this person that genuinely needs it. That's what money allows you to do, right? And so I think looking at it with that perspective too is huge.
I love that. We have talked about so many amazing things about business today and last week as well. So definitely, if you haven't watched last week's video, you're missing out on a whole other chunk of just incredible information. Erin, we want to thank you so much for coming on our channel. We have a little participation trophy for you because you would not be a millennial if you did not get a gold star for showing up. But also, we really honestly appreciate you taking the time to come down here to Thrive and have a chat with us about business, and so thank you.
Thank you guys. I had so much fun. I love talking to you guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
And thank you. Thank you for this. I cannot wait to put this with all my other things.
Right?
My little
Yeah, right? So, and I think too, I love what you said about the idea of having an attitude of abundance towards money. And so I think we'll probably have you back again to maybe talk a little bit more about that. Because we're going to be doing a money series closer to tax season, talking about budgeting and all of that. So we'd love to have you back to chat about how to have that mentality and abundance in money. But before we sign off, once again, if you want to tell all of our viewers where to find you, you can kind of do a little recap of what you do, what you offer, so that they know, like, oh my God, I love Erin, I want to work with her, I want her to mentor me, all that. So where do we go from here?
Call me.
Yeah, call me.
Call me. Okay, thank you guys so much for having me again, by the way. So you can find me on Facebook. I have, if you watched the previous video, I have a free community for my soul sisters, spiritual CEOs, my lady entrepreneurs on Facebook, where I provide a ton of free value. Can we talk about that really quick? Can we touch on that? Okay.
Of course.
So I think this is something else that I just randomly thought of. People are afraid to show up and provide this free value because they think, oh, I'm providing this and I'm not getting paid. People pay to be in your energy. And so being okay with sharing things for free and with really providing that, and knowing that if people like that, for them to be in your energy, like, that's what they're gonna pay for, right? Same thing with other service providers. Anyway, okay, so that group is called Spiritual CEO on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I share not only my business, but my life and little tidbits of inspiration on Instagram stories. So basically, I am a spiritual life and business coach for ambitious women who really want to level up in their business. So I work mostly on spirituality, mindsets, and empowering women to really own who they are so they can authentically show up in their business. And so I do one-on-one coaching, I do group coaching, and you can visit my website too, erincallcoaching.com.
Don't go to erincall.com because it's like
duck website.
Duck website. It's Erin Call Coaching. And we'll put all the links and everything here in the video. So make sure that you check out those links below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to our channel. We would love to have you as one of our regular viewers. And we're just so thrilled to have had Erin here today. Thank you once again for coming. And if you are a female business owner who is just starting out in her business and you're still kind of finding your footing, I would highly recommend seeking out a business coach or a mentor, someone who can give you those inspiration, kick you in the butt when need be, and tell you like, get your stuff together, woman, because we all need somebody like that. And if you are looking for a co-working space or a desk or office or just a place to show up that has Wi-Fi, Thrive Co-working, we cannot say enough good things about this space. We have had such good experiences here at Thrive. It is a safe, welcoming, and non-judgmental place for women like you who are ready to really step it up in your business. They have everything from just co-working space where you can sit at a table, network with other women, and just work. They have assigned desks, and they have offices, and they've got conference rooms and all that good stuff. And most of the time, there is really delicious kombucha. I said it right again.
Yay!
Kombucha
Woo!
on tap here at Thrive. So definitely check out Thrive Co-working in Gilbert if you are looking for a place to level up your business and you're ready for that next step of investing in yourself and your business. We are also going to be interviewing Braylyn from Thrive. She's one of the owners here and she runs the place. We're going to be talking to her about budgeting, and then we're going to have Erin back to talk about money mindset in a few weeks after that. So definitely stay tuned. We have some really awesome money related content coming to the channel. So we are so excited once again to be coming to you from Thrive. Thank you, Thrive, for having us. Your hospitality has been wonderful. We will see all of you lovely viewers again next Wednesday here on the Savvy Blondes channel.
Bye, guys.
Thanks guys so much for watching our channel, The Savvy Blondes. We'd love to thank our sponsors, Thrive Co-working for Women here in Gilbert. Thank you so much, Thrive. We're so excited and blessed to be a part of you and to be able to film here. So thanks. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.